Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This session focuses on language in the domains of religion, market, and business. I hope by the end of this session you would be able to understand the dynamics of language use in Pakistan with reference to these particular domains. Well, my dear students, at the outset, I would like to start with the domain of religion. When it comes to the domain of religion in Pakistan, typically, Arabic language is associated with the domain of religion in Pakistan because Islam is the main religion and Muslims live in majority in Pakistan. So, the language of the religion, that is Arabic, is predominantly, present in this whole domain of religion. The religious discourse takes place in Arabic. Even if the religious discourse takes place in academics, in English or in Urdu language, the terminology and the lexical items, they are always drawn from Arabic language. And, the use of the jargon of, religion that we find in the domain of religion, it all comes from Arabic language. It is very interesting that in the current times, there is, some expansion of language use in the domain of religion, and that is happening because of, the role of media that it is playing. Today, if we just search through the channels that are available in Pakistan, through different cable channels, we can see a lot of programs based on religion that are being run, that are being aired. And in all these, because of the influences of media, this expansion is taking place, that now a lot of vocabulary that is being used in these programs is of English language, and Urdu becomes one of the major languages that is being used for media purposes, in different programs. All those uses and usage of, for example, of certain languages such as English, that would be considered as a taboo, I would say, in the domain of religion in Pakistan traditionally. Now we find that kind of language being used. Very interesting names of these programs can be noticed. I am sure you would be familiar with the kinds of names that are being created. For example, Alim Online, kind of titles that are given to the programs. So they show a kind of expansion of the linguistic, functionality within the domain of religion with reference to the changes that are emerging because of media. So, mainly media has broadened these language choices. In fact, when it comes to sociolinguistics, this is a very significant area of research that needs to be explored with keeping in mind the particular socio-religious context of Pakistan. With this, we move on to the domain of market and business. When we talk of the domains of market and business in Pakistan, in fact, everyday market language is the local language, or it is the national language. Actually, it is determined by the nature of the business and the class of the business. So the elite class that is in business, their language choices are different, and they use either English or Urdu for business purposes, whereas when it comes to, the comparatively lower stratum of business classes, their local languages are used for these purposes. My dear students, the ground reality is, accept or not, whether we are ready for it or not, English now is the global language of business. It provides interconnectivity with other nations as well. So for more and more multinational companies are emerging, and they are, kind of mandating English as the common language of their companies. And if, we want to be into the business with these multinational companies, if we want to make the economy of Pakistan strong, then within the domain of market and business, the significance of English cannot be denied. And we, as academics, need to prepare a generation of people who are sociolinguistically competent in, performing different functionalities of social life in English language. So, as I have said, in this context, Pakistan cannot be an exception, and Pakistan also needs to, have English as a language to communicate with people for various business endeavors. How all this is happening in the business and the market, urbanization has played a significant role in that. The shift from the rural agriculture economy, to the industry-based economy in the country, that is like the same as in many other South Asian developing countries. This has created certain aspirations and inspirations with reference to the use of Urdu and English respectively, climbing up the higher on the ladder of social status, and to meet the aspirations of the urbanized life. So, in fact, multiplicity of factors determine language choices in multiple economic circles, and depending upon the needs of the circles, local languages are also used on the local level. However, when we look at the global level, and when we look at the real business in the sense of that feeds into the economy of the country, English is considered to be a marker of success in that. And companies always they try to hire people who are good at English, who have linguistic competence, and who can sociolinguistically perform better than others in English language. In keeping with the global trends, and to meet the needs of import and export as well, English has emerged as a very strong tool for communication in the Pakistani context.